Welcome to the Dr. Leadership Show, where we take a look at how you approach your work and personal life and how we can make the most out of both of them. A weekly get-together where we get real about self-improvement and development as we all make this not-so-easy journey through life. Our discussions will cover ideas and concepts from how to grow your career to how to lead your family towards prosperity and happiness. We don't pretend to know it all, and the doctor is the first to be vulnerable, discussing his own weaknesses, both past and present. This is about growing together and having some fun while we discuss what is happening in the crazy world we live in and how to make the most of it. Let's strive for awesome together. Let's get after it. Everybody, welcome to another edition of the Dr. Leadership Podcast. Hope you're having an awesome weekend. Hey, what a beautiful day out here. Sunshine, and I think spring has finally sprung. It's been kind of a late spring this year. I don't know what's happening in your part of the country. Shout out to all the people in Kentucky and Missouri. Terrible storms there. Part of spring, and tornadoes are just a part of nature, but, so sorry about that. But really fired up about a couple of guests coming up on the show here in the upcoming weeks. We've got Nadalina. She is of Rise Up For You. She's joining the show in a couple of weeks, a leadership consultant. Really known all over internationally, and I'm really excited about that. And then Lee Povey is coming on. He's a high-performance leadership coach, and what's really cool about Lee, trains Olympians and national champions in sprint cycling. It's the sport where you got the oval track, and it's got big high-banked areas, and they ride up to the top, and they kind of hold up there, keeping their balance, and then all of a sudden they sprint like 3 times around, going bat out of hell. They're actually strapped in the bike, so you can't take your feet off. They're held up when they start, and then they're grabbed when they're done. And I'm going to talk to him about that. He's originally from England and works in Southern California, has been doing that for quite some time. So very excited about that. Those will both be coming up late May, early June for the conversations. And, anytime I can have these types of people on the Leadership Lounge, it's always so great. Sorry last week, missed everybody. I have been down with a nasty sinus infection that I couldn't have talked for 5 minutes without talking, let alone do 30 minutes here. Been sputtering and coughing and had to go old school. Had to pull the Vicks Vapor Rub out. Finally did that last night, and I think I've made kind of a breakthrough. Went on some antibiotics, all those types of things, but good stuff. So I'm back at releasing some episodes, so very excited about that. Remember, you can join the membership to the Leadership Lounge and to the Dr. Leadership Show by going out to our website at www.drleadershipresults.com. Click on subscribe, $5 a month. I've been picking up some regular add-ons, which I appreciate. Everybody out there. Haven't lost anybody, which is great. And you get some early access. So I'm recording this on the weekend. You'll get access today. I'll get it loaded up before the final round of the PGA Championship. Scotty Scheffler's coming back. It's been an interesting golf event there, man. The world's 3 best players really struggled on Thursday, and then came back Friday. Rory, barely made the friggin' cut. Now that's for a golfer like me that sucks. He still played awesome, but had to make a putt on the final hole on Friday to make the cut. So I'm going to watch the end of that, and then I'll get this thing posted up. But you can join. You can get early access. You can be on the lead-in of all the trends out there that Dr. L's talking about. And then, of course, you can send us emails at drleadershipresults@gmail.com. Give us some input, some insight, ideas, feedback. Hey, you're awful. Hey, you're great. Whatever. In between, it all makes good sense. So check us out. So I got this sinus infection deal, and I told everybody beforehand, I made my big trip to Bangkok, Thailand, to do some doctor leadership training for some senior leaders across all the Asia Pacific. I mean, a very, very cool deal for me. I'll tell you, it is, it's a long flight. Woo! I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I had leaders from, I'll probably miss somebody here, but Japan, China, South Korea. North Korea wasn't available. Kim Jong-un wouldn't let his folks come down. I'd straighten him out right away. Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, Vietnam, India, Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand. Who am I missing? I think that's Cambodia. Everybody was there. And the doctor did 3 great days of interaction. 1 day of their meetings, kind of getting ramped up, getting to know everybody. Super, super nice people. And then Dr. Leadership did, DR Leadership did 2 days of sales training. And the training was all encompassing. It was about, getting your own personal mindset right and getting your own attitude straight. And then went into specific industry training that I had some insight to, and spent a couple good days, had some good feedback. Appreciate everybody. And Bangkok, man, what a beautiful city. If you haven't been there, as I said, it's a long ass ways, but very modern in some aspects. And then like their power and internet's all on power poles. I mean, there'll be 1,000 lines of friggin' internet cabling and power hanging off of lines. At times it feels kind of third worldish, but man, beautiful buildings, et cetera, but full of spiritual excellence too. It took me a couple days. They put their hands together and bow at you as a sign of respect. Stayed in a beautiful hotel, Grand Center Point, Sukiyaki or something 55. I'm screwing up the S word there. But the Grand, very, very nice hotel, beautiful rooms. Oh my goodness, they put me up in a corner suite. It was just absolutely stunning. But that bowing of the respect was just such a wonderful experience. I'm a huge fan of the U.S. of A., but there's certain things that other cultures really do better than us. And the respect of the Thai people, they are so loving, and the food was outstanding. I'll give you an idea on the food. So it's a very inexpensive place. Once you get there, couple $3,000 a month, you're going to live like a king or a queen over there. They have some unbelievable food, and there was a Michelin star restaurant that we went out to one night, just a few blocks down from the hotel. Walked down, it sat maybe 20 people, wasn't hoity-toity feeling. Brought the menus over, had the restaurant dishes that were starred by Michelin, and I got one of their specials. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was pad thai, and then it had a great big, filleted open, big crustacean of some sort. I think it was like a little lobster deal or something. I don't know what it was, but they had that thing cut open and cooked, and had a drink. And Michelin multi-star restaurant, their house specialty, world-renowned dish, $18. It's just like, man, are we doing something wrong over here? But a beautiful place. The food was awesome. A lot of people don't cook in their homes. They just go outside because there's thousands of restaurants in square miles. I mean, every block where I was anyway was 15 restaurants and bars on every street. It was just everywhere. And the reason I think a lot of this happens is there's like 15 million people in this town. So there's tons of people and more scooters than I thought was possible. I mean, it looked like Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki were, the factory was at the end of the block or something wheeling these things out. So it has some air quality issues. They call it the Bangkok cough. And I think that's what started me. Plus 30 hours of flying and airport's over, and then 25, 26 hours back because you go a little faster with the prevailing winds. And I had a smaller layover on the way back. Got me this sinus infection. And you can probably still hear it in my voice a little bit, just a little raspy. But it's a great place once you get there. Some unbelievably beautiful temples. And the thing that's just crazy is I don't know what I thought about it. You know how you have these preconceived notions about a lot of stuff in life. I'm going to Bangkok and I'm like, oh God, is it like, rats hanging on sticks? And there's parts of the town where you can see that. I didn't go to like Soy Cowboy and Soy 10 or something. These, where all the lady boys and all of the bar scene and all the deviant behavior happens. Did not go down there. Swear to God. Just not my deal. Sorry. But the thing that I really noticed is there must have been, it had to be in the hundreds of 25 and 30 story apartment buildings and beautiful decks and trees on it. And there was the pool area. I got some downtime later on the pool a little bit. It was up on the 7th floor, kind of in these high rises. And you look up and people have glass bottom pools on the 2nd level of their apartments. And just really, really cool. The only other thing I would say about Bangkok, man, it's hot. So it was 96 and 90% humidity every day I was there. A lot of U.S. men, older men, had to move over there for the party scene and The Thai ladies love the U.S. men, so good place if you're single, all that kind of stuff. But man, I could not deal with the heat. 365. It just doesn't ever change. It's like they have, as my brother-in-law says, I think they have a hot season, a very hot season, and rain season. And I was there in the very hot season. So now the trip there, as I said, is another thing. 30 hours of travel. That's time flying over, and you go over the top of the world. It's kind of cool. I flew up to Minneapolis, had a 5-hour layover on a Sunday. There's not a lot to do in the Minneapolis airport for 5 hours on a Sunday. So fortunately, I had access to the Delta Lounge, did some sitting there, got online, watched some sports, etc. But I did really experience a cool thing on the way there. So I flew from Minneapolis to Incheon, which is Seoul, South Korea. And again, you go up over the top of the globe, man. You don't leave Minneapolis and head west, young man. You head hard northwest. You actually fly over Alaska, and then you start coming down on the other side of the globe, and you go over the west, out over the sea, Bering Sea, and then you go down and you eventually hit Japan. You fly over Japan, and then you land in Incheon, Seoul, South Korea. And I transferred planes, switched planes there. That was my connection on down to Bangkok. So it was a 13-hour and 40-minute flight from Minneapolis to Incheon. That is a long time. That's the longest flight I've ever been on. I'd been on some 10 hours before, but 13 hours and 40 minutes is a long time. I did use some points and upgraded to first class, business class, because it's international. They call it business class. And that was nice, having the lay-down seat, et cetera, better food and all that. And it stayed light the whole time because I was chasing the sun. So completely missed a night. You land, it's a whole day later there because you're on the other end of the international time zone, where they're 14 hours ahead of us in Incheon, and then 12 hours ahead in Bangkok because you keep going further west. So when I land in Incheon, as everyone knows, I'm a huge Iowa Hawkeye fan. I mean, I go nuts over it. So I get off the plane in Incheon, a little nervous, like I haven't been in this airport. I'm in a foreign land. Hopefully they speak English. All the signage and everything is in the calligraphy, or what, I don't know what you'd call it, but all the written language, the Asian languages, and then it switches to English, but it's very intimidating. I mean, you can't try to phonetically sound anything out, right? It's like a house with a circle over it and a people with a dot, and you're trying to figure out what's going on, not making fun of the language at all, the written language, just like it's so foreign, it's unbelievable. But I'm this huge Iowa Hawkeye fan. I'm putting my stuff together, get my passport out. I have to go through a transfer security check. And I look up, and I've been off the plane for 100 steps. And what's the first thing I see? There's a little Asian fella there with an Iowa Hawkeye t-shirt on. I sheet you not. It was unbelievable. Turns out, I go up and I go, I'm from Iowa. And he's like looking at me like, yeah, you're Godzilla. I'm a monster compared to him. And I pointed at his shirt and goes, Iowa. I went to school there. And he goes, Mongolia. I'm Mongolia. He was from Mongolia. So that was about the extent of it. I took a picture, sent it off to my family. It was very, very interesting, to say the least. Had a nice little introduction. Again, not a ton of English, but I felt at home. Hawkeyes, the bumblebees are everywhere. So I will also say this about the Incheon airport. It is stunning. I mean, Chicago O'Hare Airport, Newark, LaGuardia, there's some nice areas that have been redone. Chicago's an armpit. But, Dallas is not a good airport. Our airports are old. But the Incheon Airport in Seoul, absolutely stunning. First of all, it's huge. I mean, there's full-size pine trees and park areas that they've got built out. There's Dunkin' Donuts, and there's Starbucks, and there's Burger King, and there's all this type of stuff, all sorts of duty-free. But then what's crazy is so it's soaring ceilings. I mean, 100-foot tall ceilings, at least, maybe 200-foot tall ceilings, great big arches. And one of the finest shopping experiences I've ever been around. And when I say this, all sorts of different stores, the duty-free and stuff, but then the luxury stuff, Hermes, Louis Vuitton, Tiffany, Gucci, Rolex. It went on and on and on. And like the Louis Vuitton was a big box looking like suitcase built in the middle of the friggin' airport. Louis Vuitton, it had to be 3,000, 4,000 square feet Louis Vuitton store. And then Hermes was God, I mean, they had to have $1 million worth of purses, all worth about, $5,000 in total of what it cost to make them. But it was just absolutely crazy and full of shoppers. So I think what happens is a lot of people come from the Asian markets, and that's where they kind of go on their way through. That's a connection point to get to other parts of the Asian world and to the Eastern world and buy all this stuff. I didn't go in and look. I made it plane to plane in time. I was nervous, wanted to get to the gate, and it was a long walk. 2.5 miles for me to make the walk from my gate I got off to go through security, the checkpoint, and get to the other end of the airport. Flew on Korean Air, very, very nice, and enjoyed that. But overall, this was a great experience, and it was great to meet all the different leaders. And while I was gone, I kind of touch on some things here. I wanted to tell the story about my trip, let everybody know how things were going, but also some huge news on leadership around the world. That's just what I kind of wanted to touch on, kind of an update from my point of view on some of these big things. We got a new pope. As I saw some memes, the tariffs are working so good, the pope's now made in America. Oh, I think that's hysterical. So this pope, Leo, going back to a more traditional approach, be a church, not a political entity. The Catholic Church is always going to be involved a little bit, but going back, restated the church's opinions on traditional marriage and all those types of things can be a little edgy. I understand that. But the Pope, got a new Pope, very, very good guy. He's from Chicago. He's a White Sox fan. There was all sorts of news on that. So big news there. And then speaking of overall leadership, this last week, wow, what a week for the United States. USA. Just incredible. A complete reset of our position as the leading country in the free world. It was on display as President Trump made his Middle East endeavors. People, he's a lightning rod of an individual, right? The people that hate him have been manipulated to feel that way about him. And you can say, oh, he didn't pay his bills. He went bankrupt one time. Well, he's got 300 businesses. He's gone bankrupt, 10 of them. Far more successful than any other group of business owners in the world. It's all in context, right? But you can love him or hate him. But even the Democratic Party is now saying, holy cow, what a difference a year makes. I mean, made me so proud to see the respect, the engagement, fully capable leadership team. I mean, this leadership team, it's unbelievable how much they're getting done. Love or hate any individual is on you. But even the political left has come out and said, man, what a difference we have here, right? There were American flags. The buildings were lit up with American. Oh, they're just trying to buy favor. They don't need to buy favor. They've already bought favor. They've sent hundreds of billions of dollars into our universities. They've been doing that for 25 years. They, good God, this is just how the world works. So get over it. This isn't something new. Being waved by all of the people in Saudi Arabia, the crown prince there, actually, it was just really refreshing. It made me feel good. First of all, we're talking about a lot of peace here. The United Arab Emirates, Qatar, as some say. I always learned it as Qatar, so I'm going to stick with what I got. Fighter jet escorts, so cool. Camels running, swinging their hair, trillions of investment commitments officially signed, and a reset on a terrible foreign policy of the last 25 years. I was a big Bush fan. I'm conservative. Everybody knows it. Really, really let down by that. I mean, this trying to build everybody in the eyes of what we think is good just isn't going to work. We got to allow everybody to kind of be their own deal. We have to hold them to standards, right? And they've really opened up these three particular Middle Eastern countries. Their leadership was educated in the West, educated in the United States and Europe, and they're embracing allowing women to have a much stronger, well-deserved role in those parts of the country, allowing them to drive now, allowing them to vote in certain aspects and all these different types of things. But their cultures are just different. We can't expect everyone to do it exactly how we want it to be done. We're a melting pot of a country. We allow other people to have their opinions on things, so why would we ask the world any differently in that? It's a business proposition is what we're doing here. The world is run on trade forever. The United States has been the friggin' piggy bank for everyone else's joy and fun for 50, 60 years, right? There was a big reset. I want to talk about this too on leadership. So everyone says, how can we possibly be friends with Saudi Arabia or the Middle East because of what happened with the wars and 9/11, et cetera, et cetera. All right, 19 individuals, bad deal. We did a reset with Japan and Germany after World War II. We rebuilt Germany. We rebuilt Japan. And now Japan is one of our tightest allies. Things change. You got to give a shot at peace and you got to move forward with it. And that's what we're doing here. It's been 25 years since 9/11, almost 24 years. It's time for a reset. We've embraced their new leadership. The old guard is gone. We have Iran on the run. We have them penned in a corner, which is great. So this leadership is refreshing. Not to be too political here, but it's just, come on, open our eyes up and quit just judging on some team sport and start going, this is a lot better than what it was. We almost had a nuclear war between Pakistan and India. Got that figured out in about 4 days. That's pretty good. The world was starving for our strength, and we now have it. It's not perfect, never will be. But it turns out that high-end business, super intellectually smart people that drive, businesses is much better for leading this country than lifelong bureaucrats. And that's both parties. I mean, we were led by the same knuckleheads and knuckleheadettes for the last 40 years. They got food dyes out of our food we know is causing cancer in 100 days. Some of these people have been saying they've been trying to do that for 30 years. How can somebody else do it in 100 days? These people are there to be bureaucrats and to make money and to ride the system. And it's just nice. The markets are back. Huge trade wins. And just so you're aware on this trade stuff, I'm a businessman. I understand profit and loss. I understand the Asian markets because I dealt with them for the last 35 years, the industry I was in. Everything's built over there that I sold and serviced. I reported to leadership in Japan. My manufacturing facilities were in Taiwan and Vietnam and China. So I have a little bit better connection here than you might. So just so you understand, this trade reset is a huge win for the U.S. So we went up to 145% trade, dropped it down to 30%. We were at 3% on China goods. When you average it all together, we're at 3%. So we're at 30%. That's 1,000% increase where we landed now. And it's a 90-day hold. It'll get done. I have confidence. It'll get murky. Some people will try to sink the sub here, but it'll get done. China was at 8%, and they're at now 10%. So we went up 1,000%. They went up 2 percentage points, but it's 25%. 8 to 10 is a 25% increase. They went up 25%. We're getting 1,000% more. So the U.S. didn't succumb here. Our leadership has got it in a position, and the truth has been manipulated for so long that it's finally getting exposed for all of us. Things that I thought were real, weapons of mass destruction, didn't happen. Terrible by that administration. Trying to say we're going to rebuild the Middle East. Terrible. We lost thousands of men and women because of this stuff. It is time to take a different approach, and I'm really, really glad that leadership needs to learn. We in our lives need to learn, take different approaches on things. Remember, we talked about this. The pace of leadership drives the pace of success. And it's been unbelievable to see what all has been accomplished over the last 130 days or so. I mean, there's no amount of emotional wailing that changes these visible results. Orange man bad? Maybe. Results good. Get over it. That's all I'm saying is the results matter. In life, find those that get things done and emulate them. Don't hang out with the bitchers and the moaners. We've talked about that a bunch. And I think that America was just tired of being talked down to by our own people. This extreme progressive side that just America sucks. If, everybody's a racist, everybody's a fascist, everybody's Hitler, we're evil, we're colonializing the world, we're too awful. We just got sick of it. So in life, hang out with people that are uplifting and positive and a good attitude. Talk to people that are willing to talk and engage. Ignore those people that just sit in their own emotionally weak bubbles and can't handle any challenge to their positions. I have changed my mind thousands of times on things in my life. And that's how you develop and get better. Not saying I got all the changes in my mind right. I certainly had a bunch of thoughts wrong. So keep your mind open. Be open to discussion. Just because you were disagreeing with somebody doesn't mean you hate them. Just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean you're evil. Just because someone disagrees with you doesn't mean they're 100% wrong and you're 100% right. We need to be open-minded here. The last year has been a great lesson in the power of peace and the power of the voice of the people. If you're a leader or you're leading a group or a company, listen to your teams, listen to your people. Read the room for sure. Take care of business and avoid popular talk and deliver results based on the reality of the situations you're facing. The reality was we had a trade deficit problem. The reality is and was that the U.S. was paying for everyone else's situation. We're going to drive pharmaceutical prices down for our seniors and everybody else by 50 to 80%. The U.S. is paying for the rest of the world to have cheap drugs. Why? We should be experiencing the benefits too. Let's just make things fair. Why are we asking for our middle class and our less fortunate to pay for the upper class and the elitists all around the world? As leaders and as constituents, we need to demand results based on the reality. Feelings are not to be ignored, but make sure that the feelings you respond to are based on a reality. Don't be manipulated. Do some digging. Do your own homework. Don't trust any source. Multi-source check everything that's going on in your business life. Self-check. Ask others to give feedback on what you're doing. Don't think you got it all figured out. This has been a lesson in open our eyes and be willing to look at things from a different perspective. Some big results are going on here right now. Trust me, I was nervous. I retired. The tariffs were announced. Market goes down 15, 18, 20 points. It's all back. My confidence is not restored. My confidence was validated in what we were doing. We are the golden egg for the whole world. If you have the capability, the capacity, if you have good work skills, if you have all these types of things, and you know that you can deliver on these results, believe in yourself. We need to believe in our country. It's coming around. It's great. Remember this. Weak leaders make bad times. Bad times make strong leaders. And strong leaders make good times. Enjoy these new and upcoming good times. Lean into a culture of optimism. Lean into the culture of positive thinking. Lean into loving one another. Lean into peace. Lean into economic freedom. Lean in to the USA. It'll make you feel awesome. Do that and keep that shit up. It's contagious. Pass it on. Talk next week.